chance to review it?
Well, it's there were some things in the first half that I thought we did well. The second half obviously was very, very, very below what our expectations are and what we're capable of. So the second half was something that we need to address, and we've been working at it this week in practice in terms of tackling and understand the technique and understand the urgency in which we need to play every single snap.
Do you feel like the group was just simply kind of worn down in the second half? Did they seem tired, or was that the factor, you think?
I don't think it had anything to do with physical fatigue. I think I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think our top snap player was right around 56 or 57. I think we had 62 actual snaps with 69 on the game and 7 penalties or non-play. So I can't think that physical, that was it. We just have to play with greater urgency throughout the duration of the game.
Leo had a pretty good game. Kind of what did you see from him on film, and how can you build off of this moving forward?
He played with good energy. I thought he played with very good eyes. He saw a lot of things happen in the backfield. I thought he tackled as physically as I've seen him tackle. There's still a lot of things for him to clean up. But I would agree with you. I mean, he showed up and he showed some flashes of playmaking ability. So that was encouraging to see.
I know there's a lot of youth in the secondary, but what did you see from that group?
We got to have guys that continue to play the technique, and then ultimately, football is a game of when the ball's in the air, you got to win your matchup, and I need to do a better job of coaching them, and they need to do a better job of when they get those opportunities to make the plays. I mean, there were a lot of opportunities. We have to make the plays to win the game, and we need to continue to stress that. We have been stressing it, and I think the guys have understood what we're working on and what we're continuing to work on.
First game. Go ahead, David.
Now that Shard and Jamoral have played a full game there, I mean, is it easier to show them what they do, what they don't do, and that show it for real?
Yeah, I think anytime you can watch yourself, do something like that, I think it's hard to watch somebody else and learn a lot because you don't know exactly what they were thinking. As a football player, I think so much of how you play is between your ears and what your thoughts were before the ball was snapped, if you identified any splits or any tendencies. So as they gain experience, we should see improvement. It's just how fast that experience and how fast that improvement come along.
How did you think they played in the first game?
I wouldn't say, anybody played great or anybody played horrible. I think what's important is it's the collection of 11 guys out there, and we all need to get better, and I'm the very first one that needs to improve.
First game with your staff, what lessons did you guys maybe learn about each other in the season opener?
I wouldn't say that we learned any lessons with each other. We've been through several scrimmage situations, and all the situations that come up have been overly talked about. In terms of third down, red zone, all those different situations have been we've talked about quite a bit. So I don't think really anything came upon that was new. In terms of knowing each other.
When you say you need to improve, when you look, what is it? What's the one thing you say, hey, I wish I did that better when looking back?
There were some third downs that, we had some success early, some sacks and some tackles for loss. I think we end up with, 10, 11, 12 minus yardage plays, which were positive things. But there's a couple plays later in the game, the 3rd and 12, I believe, in the fourth quarter, that, if I had back, I would, when the result's not what you want, most things in life you go back and want to tweak something here or there.
When you get players like Nick James and Jeffrey back in there initially for the year, do you see that taking pressure off of the secondary and defensive end? Do you see the defense flowing more with those guys?
I don't know if when the ball's in the air, the ball's in the air. I don't know if any particular defensive lineman is going to, I think it can speed the ball coming out, or there's some certain things like that. But when the ball's in the air, the guys, the back seven, linebackers, safeties, corners, that's the moment of truth. So anytime that you get quality players back, that's always, a positive for us. But I can't say that it's going to directly impact, some guys in the back end.
What do you see from South Carolina's offense, especially now it's a new staff?
It's they've done a good job of implementing the quarterbacks. The McElwain young kid that is very talented. And they got him in the game early, and as a true freshman, there's a huge learning curve for him. But you can tell how talented he is, and you can tell You know, when they got him in, they must be very excited about his future. Orth did a nice job, you know, and then they have 89. You know, they had, I think, 10, 11, almost 13 targets for him, you know, the true freshman out there. So they got some good skilled players surrounding them. And I think their staff has done a nice job of identifying what their strengths are and playing to them.
What stands out about Orth when you see him on film?
I think he's a gritty kid. You know, he's a guy that I bet people have been against him for a long time. He just keeps competing, and he just keeps finding a way. And I would imagine he's a guy in that locker room that a lot of people respect. And every time he goes out, he'll give it his all.
Within the secondary,